everybody. Welcome to our new space.
Woohoo!
That's temporary.
Temporary. Yep.
We are broadcasting from our new house. Nick Birch has moved into the area. I'm in my new house. Nick is actually on the other side of the camera for the first time.
Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
So we're super excited to be broadcasting today. We've been away for 2 weeks while we moved. There's still tons of boxes behind the cameras today. We're actually going to be, our studio will be right through that door, but I'm waiting on new floors to be put in. All the flooring is right there, and hopefully by next week all the floors will be put in and we'll be ready to go. And also we have family here today, so you might hear kids playing and having a good time. So we're going to be, I thought, as I was unpacking everything, I've been finding so many old paintings and Disney memorabilia and just a lot of really cool stuff that I haven't really seen in like 9 years because it's been packed away. And I thought it would be kind of fun to show everybody. And so rather than draw today, I thought I might just take you down a little bit of memory lane with some really cool stuff, and you guys can ask questions about time at Disney and all that kind of thing. So. I've got a whole bunch of maquettes over here that are still in the boxes. I haven't even unboxed yet. I've got, well, let's see. Let's start. Oh, there's one thing. This one I thought was super cool. So you guys, some of you may have heard in the past that when I moved from California, I had a whole bunch of sketchbooks that I thought got thrown out by the movers because they did actually throw out some of my boxes. And I never found the sketchbooks until we moved into here. I opened some boxes that I had never opened, and I found them, which is super awesome. These are sketchbooks that I haven't seen in probably, 10 years, 15 years. But I thought I could come over here. There you go, Dustin. That's all right. Let's see if we can, there we go. Can you see that? Let's zoom in a little bit on this one, because I want to page through. This is from, how far?
Yeah, audio's low.
Is it?
Yeah, hold on.
Here we go, right there. That's good. You don't have to go any further. And I just wanted to take you through some of these old sketches. This is about the time of around the time we were starting Mulan, and that looks a little blurry, Dustin, on the big screen.
Oh, this it's just the stream quality.
Oh, okay. But these are all little watercolor. That was a little hard to see. It's a Cooper's Hawk. These are all little watercolor sketches that I kept. But as you get further in another Cooper's Hawk, as you get further in, you're going to start to see sketches that I did in the wilds in Wyoming. This is all out in Wyoming, the Grand Tetons, Bison, all wild animal sketches that I did over the years. Probably zoom in a little more. There we go. Oh, there you go. That's even better. So it's really, really cool to find these after thinking they were gone for so many years. I mean, I've got piles of these. But I want to take you through here. Some more bison, geese. These are all drawn from life, sitting out. But this one here, this is where we get to here, and this is the first sketch. This was the first sketch that I did on our research trip to Alaska for Brother Bear. And so I've got all kinds of pressed flowers, all of my journal notes that I took. And so this is why I was so upset when I thought these were lost, because it had all of these memories in them. You guys are trying to get the sound right? What's the matter?
We're just trying to make sure the mic doesn't get in the way of any shots.
So we've got all these really neat little watercolors along with all of my notes and everything for Brother Bear. This is the very first set of journals that I kept for the movie. And it pretty much documents the entire trip, what we were doing. I've got a little birch bark in there, all kinds of just really neat stuff. this area where the salmon is, where this raven is eating a dead salmon, and then where is it? There's actually a photo. There's a photo that Tim Hodge has of me doing this little squirrel drawing at a picture. Like windy area in Turnagain Arm in Alaska, and this is where Chuck Williams and I kind of stood up on this cliff right here and let the wind hold us up, and that ended up in the movie with Kenai and Coda leading into the wind.
And to everyone that's watching right now, don't be afraid to ask any questions about any of this stuff. If you have any questions about these sketchbooks or any of the stuff we're going to be showing today, don't be afraid to ask them.
Look at this one. Nick could get a kick out of this one. It's signed by Timothy Treadwell.
Ooh.
Right here. Remember Timothy Treadwell? The guy that from Grizzly Man?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Timothy Treadwell ended up losing his life to a bear. But he came to our studio and spoke with us. And Werner Herzog did a movie about it. So anyway, lots and lots of stuff there. And then these sketchbooks are just full. But I thought it might be fun to maybe grab some other stuff. I've got cells. I found cells that I haven't seen in years, and I thought they were lost. And I found a whole box of different cells. Here is from Roller Coaster Rabbit. This is a color model cell.
You're still sound far away. Sorry.
Okay. This is a color model cell that I created. No, I didn't create, they created, but I did the drawing. This is the first production that I ever worked on at Disney. And so here is the drawing underneath. Can you keep that up there, Dustin, so I can see it? There you go. So this is the drawing, this is the cleanup drawing. And then from that, it was Xeroxed onto a cell and then painted from behind. And I actually, because I had some downtime, I actually, oops, which way? This way. There we go. I actually did a little background for it too, all painted in watercolor, and I got a fly going on my face. So it's a really cool find to get this. So there's the background, there's the drawing, there's the color cell, and the little protective sheet right there. So that's pretty cool.
And we got a question about the sketchbook from earlier.
Yeah.
Did you use your Cotman portable to do all the on-site watercolors?
I did. Yep. I used my Cotman to do all of that. This is another cell that is fake. This one, I actually did the drawing for this. This is when we were working on Beauty and the Beast, and I had a cell painted for me. One of the ink and painters took my drawing and went ahead and this is when we were first getting started on the movie, and we're experimenting with some of the colors, and so that was painted for me, and I was able to take it home. What's that?
The mic was backwards.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know there was I thought it was equal on both sides.
See, that's how it was with the photo paper.
Yeah, right.
I thought both sides worked.
Let's see what else we have in here. Oh my gosh. This is a big one. I know I'm talking away from the mic. Hold on.
I'm just moving it until it's out of the shot.
This one, I'm taking it out of the cover. Look at this. Okay, silence my phone.
Silence all phones during the presentation of the film. Thank you.
Look at this.
Wow.
Yep. Nala and Simba. And then there's the background. This was an awesome one. I love this cell. And I did Nala in the movie, and I've got some stuff I'm going to show you later on. But this is one of the cells I got after we finished the film. Now, the movie wasn't done on cell, so these were limited edition kind of commemorative cells from the film. The last movie that was really done on cells was The Little Mermaid. Now, this one was a treat for me because
what medium do they use for the cell colors?
it's like it's a plastic paint. It's not quite acrylic. It's its own kind of chemistry, and I'm not quite. It's like a vinyl paint, I should say. But this shot right here, this is one of the shots we were able to get of Pocahontas, and this, I actually animated this particular shot in the movie. So when they offered this up, I jumped on it because it was really lucky that it was actually my shot. Because Glenn Keane was the supervising animator of Pocahontas, but for whatever reason, well, I think it's because we had all the characters in the same shot with Flint and Miko and Pocahontas. We were able to get this, and so here's my shot, all painted up.
And how many Inktober's of sketches have you found?
Oh, quite a few. Look at this one. Okay, this is Put the Kids Away. Hold on. Gotta get this. Oh, come on. There we go. There you go.
Oh my!
There's Jessica Rabbit tied up on the tracks.
Cases filed again.
Let me bring this over here. I've got piles of these. Well, not pile, but a pile.
What was it like working with Glenn on Pocahontas?
Well, I worked with Glenn. I first worked with Glenn. He was my mentor when he taught me animation. So that was incredible because everything I know about animation, I learned from Glenn. And then we worked together on Beauty and the Beast, and that was wonderful. And then after that, we worked together on Pocahontas. And Glenn is always amazing to work with. So this was a cell from Prince and the Pauper, which is another film that I worked on very briefly.
Prince and the Pauper?
Yeah. What? Okay, gotcha. So we got Dustin.
What?
Look over at Nick. He's trying to get your attention.
What?
We should switch mics because you can't hear him, but we can hear you crystal clear. That's all I'm saying. People keep saying the sound. I can't hear what you're saying. The sound.
This one got damaged in the move. Not this move, but a recent move. Not a recent move, but a move from like 10 years ago. And it's a bummer because this is my only actual production cell, and this cell got folded, so I have to find a way to get it repaired. And I've got the background for it in another spot. There we go. So there's Little Mermaid and Flounder, and this is an actual production cell. This is the real deal. So there you go. Put those over here. Lion King certificate of, these are all my little certificates of authenticity. You get these with every cell that you get.
Just to show that they're legit.
They are legit. Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Here's a Brother Bear. Lilo and Stitch. This is a good one. Let me pull this one out. Because this takes a little more work. I might need some help, Nick. If you could just hold the envelope and I'll pull up. Yeah, hold this in the middle. There we go. So here we go. I love this one. I forgot I got this one. Check this out. This is super cool. It's the Hula Dancers. Look at that. Where she's dancing with all the kids.
Yep.
I love it.
Cool. So look at the one girl with the glasses.
Yeah. Your dog bit me.
So are cells from actual paper animation, and was everything after just done digitally?
Yes, so the cells are done from actual paper animation, like you said. And where'd the envelope? Oh, there you go. You got it there. Let's put that right back in. So the cells are done from paper animation, and And then they're scanned onto acetate, and then they're painted on the back. And so you get the line work on one side, and then the color on the other side. That's how it worked, you know, when we did all of our cell work. Here's a cool one. This one actually has several different layers. Pull this out so you can see. Check this out. I animated the main all the ancestors in Mulan, and then Tom Bancroft animated Mushu, and this is one of the scenes that Tom and I animated together. So this was a fun one. So there's the main ancestor. He was voiced by George Takei. Rhymes with okay.
Oh my.
How do the animators all get on the same page as far as drawing characters perfectly from shot to shot?
Well, a lot of the animators didn't draw them perfectly from shot to shot. And so it was up to the cleanup artists. The assistants, they came through afterwards, and they redrew all of the animators' rough drawings. And it was their job as artists to make sure that all of the characters were consistent. So it's funny, if you watch the movie and watch just the rough animation, that a lot of the rough animation would be different from character. Well, the animation itself, all within the same character, might be different because you had several animators working on the characters. It was the cleanup, because it was our job as rough animators to get the performance and the acting and the emotion and all that. And then it was the cleanup artists whose job it was is to make all the characters consistent. They redraw all of those rough drawings and then make them all on model, is what we called it.
How did they make the ghosts, the ancestors, transparent?
They were well, that was all digital, so there's a lot of opacity. But to do it with, if we did it traditionally on film, you would do it by underexposing the characters. So that's okay. Hey, we're a family business here. We got kids playing. So anyway, and I've got more stuff here. What else have we got? Actually, I want to go into. I want to open one of these boxes. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see what we got. I'm going to open this one. I might need a knife. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if this is going to be too big. Is this too big to get in the frame?
It's a little large. It is quite large.
It is quite large.
Hi, Aaron. I just.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll do this. I'll just put it on the floor, and I'll sit in the chair, and I will reveal what we have in here.
That sounds good.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, Aaron. I just completed your perspective, anatomy, lighting, clear expressions in the space of a week, and my brain is literally saturated with information. My question is, will all these teachings just click into place one day?
Yes. You just got to do it and repeat, do it and repeat, do it and repeat, and it will just click into place. So these boxes have been boxed up for 9 years. I haven't seen these maquettes. I'm not sure. But what's a maquette? Some of you might not know what a maquette is. When we would design a character for an animated film at Disney, one of the parts of the process was getting to, well, that's not a maquette. That's just a model. It's just a figurine. One of the parts of the process as the designer of the character is that not only would I come up with model sheets to show what the character looked like in 2D, I would also get together with a sculptor. In this case, a lot of these are going to be sculpted by Tony Cipriano, who actually did our ZBrush course.
And sculpting with clay course.
Yes, exactly. And so what I would do is I would come up with a pose of my main character and make it very dynamic so that you could look at it from different angles and it would give a lot of information. And then it was up to Tony to actually do a 3D sculpture of that character, and that becomes a maquette. And so that's used as a drawing aid. There's a lot of times when we're sitting and we're trying to animate a character and it's at a weird angle or you're in a down shot or whatever, and it's hard to imagine what that character is going to look like. So you might take your maquette instead and turn it at the angle that you need, and it gives you all the information. And so that's what these are all about. And they're also pretty cool. They're just decorative.
What's in the box?
I've got a lot. Yeah, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Here we go. I'll show you what's in the box. And also, these flat files, these have been in storage for 9 years. These were flat files from the layout department at Disney that when the studio shut down in Florida, I was able to get these. So we actually still have some of the scene numbers on them. So let's see here. Paper. Paper.
Hey, Aaron, I recently bought Dustin's photo pack on otters and alligators. I love it. Awesome. My question is, what do you do to make fur look wet? I'm struggling with that.
You gotta look at what makes fur wet. It's glistening, right? It's gotta shine the light back. That's the sun that's shining on it. So that's part of what it does. Is it's how much it glistens. All right, so now we're getting in the more paper. Look at that. We got lots and lots of paper.
More paper. Paper on top of paper.
The suspense is killing me.
Is that it?
What is it? Let's see. Let's see what it is. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I actually know what this one is, but I'm not going to say until we get it open. Oh, you guys are going to love this. There's a little tail sticking out. Look.
Oh.
Simba. Now, I animated Nala, but because Simba and Nala were so similarly built, we decided just to do the maquette for Simba. And this is it. So this is the maquette that I got when I finished The Lion King. I've actually got a maquette of Nala, but we built that on our own. But this is an official maquette from The Lion King. It's little Simba. Pretty cool. I think I got more in there. I'm going to take this very carefully because these are kind of priceless. Wow. I love it. Okay, what else have we got here? Oh, I'm in the wrong box. Oh, there's another box. There's another box. Thanks, man.
Are these maquettes very fragile?
Yes. They are packed in foam and paper and bubble.
Are those original maquettes or reproductions?
These are original maquettes. These are not reproductions. These are the original maquettes we used on the movie. That's why I'm so careful with them. As a supervising animator, they would give us our maquettes at the end of the movie. And then as a director, you usually got an entire set of maquettes. And so for Brother Bear, I've got the entire set, and we're going to be pulling those out.
Well, some of them. We might save some for future.
Yeah, no, we're not doing all the maquettes today.
A couple of fun comments like, I want that Simba.
Nope.
Simba's
can't.
a lion. That's why it's called a maquette.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, I know what this one is. This box was completely labeled wrong. But that's kind of funny. All right, I know what this one is. This is a Tony Cipriano sculpture, by the way. This one is. It is. No, he's sounding like I feel right now. This is awesome.
What materials are the maquettes made of? Also,
They're
all
sculpt.
animators get to keep their own maquettes?
No, only the supervisors get to keep a maquette because they only made about 8 or 9 of each character. And so like the cleanup supervisors would get a maquette.
you know, usually the maquette would kind of bounce around within a group, because each group would get one.
Do they still do maquettes for 3D phones?
They do, yeah, but it's more for marketing purposes. Can you guess who this is? No, you can't guess yet. You're not going to tell who yet.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah. That bit. Don't say anything. Don't give it away. I'm trying to do this without damaging. Well, this is 9 years of this tape being on this plastic, so it just is not going to come off.
Well, at least it's sealed
There we
tight.
go. Ready? There he is. This was the maquette that we did for Yao. This is Yao from Mulan. Now, you'll notice this one's all gray. Some of them we painted. Most of them we left all gray. We didn't paint them at all. But this is Yao. Oh, let me pull it back this way. There you go. You can zoom in on him there. Okay. Then let me pick him up. Oh! So there he is. And I remember doing the drawings for this, because if you look, every angle, I tried to get him that every angle kind of showed him in a good light from a model standpoint. And one of the big challenges on this film was taking very flat designs. They were very flat when you drew them, but then you had to think of them in 3D, and so you had to take that flatness and translate it into a 3D model, and so that was a big challenge. And so I think Tony did a great job, Tony Cipriano, interpreting what I had drawn and creating the 3D model right here.
Pretty sure if you go back on our channel, on the sneak preview for Tony's clay course, we actually have the original clay sculpted that. It's the broken pieces.
Oh yeah, that's right. There we go. Man, this is fun. Yep. Just stuck here. Just give that to you. You got it? Yep. All right, so should we do some more drawings or another maquette? What do we want to do?
Some more drawings.
All right.
We'll do more maquettes.
Here on this one, this is a super cool. Why is that?
What material are maquettes made out of again? Just for the.
Oh, so they were made. Oh, that's right. They're sculpted in clay. They're sculpted in. They're sculpted in Sculpey.
Sculpey?
Yeah, Sculpey, and they can be baked and hardened, and then you can sculpt back into it. You can add to it, and so a lot of times they're done in Sculpey, and then they're cast, and which the original sculpture is destroyed in the casting process. They make a mold, and then from the mold they pour resin, and they usually made about, like I said, 10 or 12 on average of each of the characters, and they're all made out of resin. These are all resin casts.
Why are you just getting these now? Where are they coming from?
I've had these in storage when I was living in South Florida. When I moved from California, I packed everything up, had everything in this home in South Florida for several years, but then I downsized. And so I packed up all of my art, all of my sculptures, and I put them all into storage in anticipation of getting into another home fairly soon. That would be where I would have the room to have everything there. Well, that was 9 years ago. So I'm finally in a place now where we can safely take the art out and display it and everything else. And so I've decided to take it out of storage, and here we are 9 years later.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of stuff to unpack.
Check this out. So these, let me go through these real quick. Back on
How would you repair a maquette if it was damaged?
glue. literally just glue and then hope for the best. Because I've had a couple of that did get broken. So these sketches, these are like 25 years old, 30 years old. When I first got onto Aladdin, I was assigned the character of Rajah, the tiger. And so I went out and started sketching tigers. And these are all of my old sketches where I was teaching myself how to draw tigers right before I started on Aladdin. So these are all of the originals. Now, some of you have seen my lecture on persistence of vision where I've got copies of these, but these are all the originals. I'd actually found, I thought I had lost them. Some of this stuff I thought I had lost. So, so then here, these are some of the early design ideas for Rajah, what I thought he could look like. You know, Rajah, you know, the design conceit for the movie, meaning the art direction for Aladdin, was a very fluid art direction. They modeled everything after a caricature artist by the name of Al Hirschfeld. And Al Hirschfeld had a very, very fluid look to his work. And so I was trying to take what I was learning with tigers here and turn it into a very fluid kind of design here. Here's some more real tigers. Also, notice how I was trying to simplify all the stripes. You know, that I could handle animating. This, I wouldn't be able to animate all those stripes. It would be tough.
Too complex.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how we can simplify it without it feeling too simplified. So all of these are just lots of sketches from there. Here's an early sketch of what, very early sketch of what I thought Rajah might look like, based on that realistic drawing. So I took it and kind of reinterpreted it. And then these, you can see there's a little bit of damage on there. These are all textured. These are all studies, motion studies that I was watching cats running around, and so I would do little motion studies so I could understand how they move. Lots and lots of research goes into these, so that.
Did you study Shere Khan at all?
Yeah, I did look at Shere Khan, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't animating Shere Khan, you know, because I wanted it to stand on its own. But I also didn't want to miss out on information that's right there at my fingertips. So I was able to pull up some of the old original animation that Milt Kahl did of Shere Khan. Here's some cool ones. Look at these. These are early designs, drawings of Nala. This is actually, this is when I was getting a little bit closer to her final look. I redrew her hundreds and hundreds of times. These are all different ideas. And you're going to see, I've just got a total mix of stuff. Check this out. So I was just showing you, the main ancestor, the ghost from Mulan. These are all bunched together. These are early drawings of what I thought the main ancestor could look like. Check these out. Completely different than where I ended up. But you start somewhere and you just keep working it and keep working it.
My personal question, of all the characters that you've designed and animated, which character do you think took the longest for you to design and finally get?
It's not so much how long they took, because they all take basically the same amount of time. It's just you go through a lot. And so Mulan, it was tough because I was originally supposed to design and animate the villain, but the villain at the time was named Balgung, which is a completely different character than what ended up in the movie. And so I got 6 months into creating this character, and then it got written out of the film. And so then I went on to animating the ancestors and Yao. But look at these early drawings of Nala.
What's the size of that animation paper?
This is I want to say 11 by 13. Yeah, I think it's 11 by 13.
What do you do in days when you want to draw but you don't know what to draw?
I just draw, and it'll come into you. It'll come to you. Here's this one here. I was trying to look how wide her head is. I was trying to see, what that might look like. All of these are just completely different, weird. Page after page after page after page. These are all pretty early. You can see they're quite a bit different than what ended up in the movie. These are very early drawings of Nala. I've got hundreds of them. So these are fun to go through. Let's see if I can find some other ones. Oh, this is when she was getting a little closer right there.
Yeah.
Those are very close. Oh, there we go. And a lot of these became marketing drawings, and so it was interesting. I'd do a sketch on a piece of paper. We'd hand it over to marketing, and then 3 years later, I saw it on a kid's sleeping bag or something like that, or on a sippy cup at McDonald's. Always trying different things, different poses. And one of the things I talk about in a lot of my lectures is about how much time we spent researching the anatomy and learning how to draw real lions, and then putting them taking what you learn and put it into your made up characters, and it makes those characters that much more believable.
What's the process like to get a character design approved?
Well, as an animator, as a supervising animator, the process is you sit down with the directors, you sit down with the other supervising animators initially. We all get kicked off together at the same time, and we talk about what the movie, really what the spirit of the film is. We talk about the art direction. We talk with the art directors. Then we start talking with each other. We want to make sure that we're designing characters that all fit in the same world. So then from there, we go away, and or at least back in the days, in the early 90s when we were making those films with Lion King and Aladdin, you'd go away kind of sequestered, and you just start drawing, and you just draw and you draw and you draw. And weekly, in the beginning, about every week, we would get together with all the other animators, and we'd throw all of our drawings up on the wall, and we start talking about what we like, what we don't like. And we talk and we critique each other's work. So you start throwing away the drawings that aren't working, you keep the ones that are, and eventually it all starts to boil down and it starts to coalesce. And then all of a sudden we're meeting a couple times a week, and it just gets closer and closer until finally you've got a design.
Is it difficult for you at all to go from cartoon to realism back to cartoon?
No, it's not actually, because the same principles apply whether it's realism, or mainly apply whether it's realism or pushed caricature cartoon. And when I'm doing cartoons, to me that's just simplified realism. And so to me it still exists in my head the same way. If I'm painting a realistic tiger, drawing Rajah still exists in my head the same way. He's real. He exists. He's a personality. I've come to know him as my own. And so it's not really any different for me. One of the processes that we do when we're animating is we do what's called thumbnailing. And a lot of you out there will know what thumbnailing is, but for those of you that don't, when we get a shot to animate, we don't just sit down and start animating. You need to plan it out. You need to figure out what you're going to do. You need to come up with the choreography, the movement, the acting, the expressions, all of that. And so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll sit down and do thumbnailing, which means we sit down and we start sketching out little ideas of what these characters can be posing like, what their expressions can be like. You start working out compositions for the shot, all that kind of stuff, so that when you sit down to actually animate, you've got a game plan. You've got the blueprints for your scene. And so these are some little thumbnails that I did from Beauty and the Beast. When the Beast, I animated the Beast in the song, There's Something There That Wasn't There Before. And so he's out in the snow, and he's got the birds in his hand, and he's thinking about Belle while he's got the birds in his hand. And so these are all little sketches here, just little ideas for expressions and how he might be holding the birds and some of his posing, that sort of thing.
Would rough sketches like the Nala ones be good in a portfolio? Sure.
Oh yeah. Yep. Now here's an interesting one. This is an actual shot from Beauty and the Beast. And I'm trying to think of the best way I can flip this and they could see it. Let me do it this way. Let me see it. Hold on. Move so I can. Oh, let me back up this way. No, go back to the other camera, Dustin. Right there. Oh, go back to the other, right there. I want to see if I can flip this and you can see him coming forward. This is where he says, and he shouldn't have trespassed here, and he comes right into the frame. It kind of worked. Yeah. So he goes, then he shouldn't have trespassed here as he comes into the frame. Rawr. So this one I really enjoyed drawing because he gets so big in the shot. Rawr, right there. And so I had these really cool giant drawings that I was able to do.
When you're drawing two animal characters that are very similar, such as young Simba and young Nala, what do you think about to make sure the models don't end up looking the same on screen?
Well, that's one of the things that we cover when we have our meetings when we're designing. We're very conscious of making sure that our characters look different from one another, and so it's just all in the design process, really. And think about Brother Bear. That movie had like 30 bears in it, and so we really had to find ways of making sure that those characters were all distinctive and very different from one another. This one, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see very well because a lot of it's in red, but I don't know if I can do it or not. Let me see if I can just.
Try this one more.
Yeah. So this is an original Beauty and the Beast shot where he says, "You can join me for dinner."
You just got your bare feet on camera, Aaron.
You can. What's he say? You will join me for dinner. You will join. Let me see. You will join. I've got it all written. Join me for dinner. That's not a request. That's what it was. Okay, let's see if we can flip this and see if you can see it. He says, "You will join me for dinner. You will join me for dinner." Oops, there it is. And he gets in her face. That's not a request. And then he slams the door.
What's the purpose of the red lines?
Because they didn't show up on camera. So, but this went to. No, the red lines did. Sorry, the red lines would show up on camera. This is why I drew them. But there is also a good. It's a good. It worked well for. No, don't change it. We got another one to go through. So I'm gonna. Yep. So just keep it. So yeah, there we go. So I like flipping through this because this is towards the end. I was getting a lot of. I was really cranking through the animation at this point.
What was the most challenging sequence that you feel that you've animated?
Oh, it was from this movie. It was from the section where Belle and Beast get into an argument when she's trying to bandage his arm. I animated that whole section, and it was very much a challenge. Here's this one's kind of funny. I like this one. I did this almost as a joke, but we kept it in the movie. In the same song, there's something there that wasn't there before. The last shot that I animated of Beast, he's just gotten hit in the head by a snowball from Belle, and so he decides he's going to make a snowball. So he goes, oh, let me back up and make sure I'm in the right spot so you can see. There we go. So now he makes a snowball and just goes, it makes a giant snowball. It would plow her over. See there? Animation. Piles up the snow. Pretty neat, huh?
Would you ever consider scanning those animations and putting them together and posting them on YouTube, or would you get in trouble for that?
No, I could do that for sure. No, I wouldn't get in trouble for that at all. And that's a great. Now that I've got these, I think we will do that.
Shoot them.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is, I love this because this is a little bit of history right here. I love having these shots. And let's go back. We'll go back to the down shooter. And these are more sketches that I did of. Wait till you can switch it. These are more sketches I did of just lions, general lions. It's a little bit blown out. If you're able to fix that, I'm not sure. Okay. We're just going to fix this a little. The aperture got, there you go. That looks better. The aperture got a little bit blown out. So I'll make sure you guys can see this as good as possible. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, the filter was just had a little overexposure, just a bit.
So these are all just, once again, little sketches that I did on the Lion King. I don't know what this one is. I think this is a Xerox, some Xerox of Rune Beneke's animation. Yeah.
Did you have to pull a lot of late nights towards the end of the production of the movies?
A lot, yes. Very many. So this is really cool. So one night when we would do our thumbnailing, I would end up with hundreds of drawings, and then I would go through and pick the ones I liked, and I'd cut them out, and I'd lay them out almost like a map. And I would follow that as my guide in the animation. So this is one that I did for Beauty and the Beast, where I cut out all the pieces, and this is where the birds finally jump up into his hands. And so we were in a wide shot where where you could see the birds, and then they jump up into his hands, and now we're in a tighter shot, and you can see him. He's excited, and then he looks over at Belle, and they share a smile with each other. And so now he goes and he looks back down at the birds right here, and then he thinks, maybe is she still looking? And he kind of steals a glance over at Belle to see if she's still looking at him, and then he goes back to the birds again. And then, so this is where they're kind of falling in love. And then right here, you'll see his expression right in here change, because he doesn't think that she could fall in love with a beast. So he catches himself here where he's kind of dreaming about it. And then he kind of, in his mind, he just kind of wakes up and thinks, no, there's no way. She'll never love a beast like me. And he gets sad. So there's this change of emotion.
Do people that know you well not care about your drawing since they see you drawing all the time?
Yes. You're sitting with two of them right here.
Get on with it.
This is a section here where I was talking about where I pulled together the some of my thumbnails, and what I love about this one is I presented this to Glenn Keane, who is the supervising animator on there, and he did these little sketches off to the side showing me how I might change it up to get some better silhouette. And so these are just these tiny little scribbles that he would do, but it really taught me some clarity in my approach.
Somebody commented, I feel like I'm in a museum.
This one here, this is in a completely different part of the movie where she says, it's in the dungeon where he's just dragged Maurice away, Belle's father. And she goes, you didn't let me say goodbye. You didn't let me say goodbye. I'll never see him again. And so he comes in and he's all ready to yell at her, but he's scratching the side of his head. He doesn't know what to say. And so this is where he decides he's not going to leave her in the dungeon. And he says, I can't remember what he says to her. And then he walks out. But here I had an idea, maybe he could be pulling on his beard. I had him doing that. And also you can see a little bird here. This is when I was getting ready to animate the something there that wasn't there before. But these are all little ideas of maybe you can scratch. I opted, obviously, because it's in the movie, on him kind of scratching his ear, scratching the side of his head, trying to figure out what to say.
How many hours did you average doing studies on a project?
Oh, countless. I don't know how many.
Do you own any drawings from other animators?
No. Well, I've got a few actually. Yeah, I've got some from Cooper Schmidt, and if you count this kind of stuff, these are all Glenn Keane's drawings right here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so this is where she says, by the way, thank you for saving my life. And so I remember talking about it with Glenn. These are my little sketches up here, and he just kind of, and then he looks over at her, and Glenn says, no, let's do this. You know, he's all grimaced, but then all of a sudden he's just like, huh? He just opens his eyes, and then he turns and he looks at her. So it happens in a transition. And I thought, oh, what a great idea. And so that's how I ended up animating it in the movie. But that all came from Glenn Keane giving me that suggestion, and here it is. Self-absorbed in his pain, the relation she's acknowledging his good deed, and then his reaction. He looks at her in a mild wonder.
Did anyone tell you sound a bit like Phil Harris? You do today.
Look for the bare necessities, bare necessities. So here's some more. These are all, once again, sketches that I did. Then I cut them out, put them in order, and then presented them to Glenn Keane, where he went through and helped me out, you know, to clarify some of these poses. I was a young animator at the time. I really learned a lot on animating this section. And here's another, put them all on cardboard. This cardboard's about ready to fall apart. What's that say? Live action dialogue. Oh, it's completely, this is from, I put it on something from Aladdin, I think. Well, here's more pieces there. This is where he first screams, where she's trying to get the cloth on him, and he goes, roar, comes back and screams. So these are all little notes from Glenn down here. Look at these. That's funny.
Were you in charge of key poses only, or did you draw the in-between drawing?
It depended on how much animation we needed in there. I did the in-betweens. I did breakdowns and in-betweens a lot of the times, but I wouldn't always do all of the drawings. It wasn't just key poses. I would add more, but it wasn't all the, you know, every drawing all the time.
I teach animation at the high school level. I focus on the 12 principles of animation and gesture drawing. Is there any advice or recommendation that I should also give focus on as a teacher?
Well, the 12 fundamentals are going to give you everything that you need, but it really is, you know, for me, it's more about performance. Think of it as a performance rather than don't get caught up in the mechanics of you know, animation, how to move it right. If you're thinking about the emotion, if you're thinking about what a character is thinking rather than what they're doing, think about what they're thinking, and that's going to be driving what they're doing. What's their emotional state? Then that's really going to drive your creative choices in the posing, and it also drive the creative choices in the timing and posing as well. So, yeah, just don't get caught up in the mechanics.
Who's a faster animator, you or James Baxter?
James Baxter by far. He's a way better animator. He's the best. These are little thumbnails. Is there a way you can zoom in on these, Dustin? I did a whole series of these. I mean, I've got piles of them, and I'll pull more out. But these are all little ink and marker little thumbnails that I created for Brother Bear. And we didn't necessarily use these, but these were all ideas for that. So these are like in the Sequoia National Forest. I went up there and did some national park. Hey, there's me. Oh, this is where we started getting a little closer. Here's another random. That's a random ancestor design.
Wushu.
Awaken. Now these are a whole bunch of. Once again, random.
Kurt Michael says, Aaron, my daughter loves Nala. Say hello to Aaron, please.
Say hello to who?
To Aaron, E-R-I-N.
Oh, Aaron and Aaron. Hey, Aaron. I'm glad you like Nala. I loved creating Nala. So these are all little sketches that I did, early ideas for Rajah. And at one time, we were thinking Rajah might be a white tiger. That's why he's white right here in these images. Matter of fact, there's my note. White tiger, question mark, blue eyes.
I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do animators ever get art block while in production? one would assume you don't, since you get storyboards and dialogue, but I might be wrong. Art block is
No, we do get art block, even with storyboards, because you always want to come up with a better way. I mean, obviously, you want to stick with the boards, and if it's already working, but it's always been our job to, you know, when you're creating an animated film, you want each step to improve upon the step before it. And so you might have some great boards, and a lot of times we just stick with the boards, but you might also come up with a better idea that improves it even more. And so we would put that weight on ourselves quite a bit.
Did you work on layouts at all?
I did not. I did not work on layouts.
Bob was there, right?
Bob Walker, who is my directing partner on Brother Bear, he was the head of layout. So these are all...
Where are white tigers native to?
White tigers, they're not native to anywhere. A white tiger is it's a genetic mutation. And so it's just a color morph.
So
they're native to the same places that
any
tiger is, yeah.
Never realized.
Yeah. And so this is another story that I tell that a lot of you have already heard, but if you look at these drawings and the way they're cut together, I was really struggling with the designs, and I was walking down the street one day and I walked past a Jaguar car, and the hood ornament was really cool because it had all the grace and fluidity but strength that I was looking for. And so I went back and started doing sketches like this, like these here, and then like these as well. And it really started helping me find that design. Oh, here we go. Now we're jumping back. These are little color sketches of Nala.
Oh, cute.
And the way we used to do this is before the internet. This is before any kind of emailing or anything like that we could do. We used to do these sketches, and I'd Xerox them like this, and then I have to put them in a pack, and we'd FedEx them to California because the studio or the movie was based in Los Angeles, and two studios were working on it. It was the Los Angeles studio and the Florida studio. So I was in the Florida studio, so I'd have to send these drawings out to California.
On average, how many pencil to paper animators like Aaron does it take to animate a full production?
I think it's over 1 million is what I think there's the number that they came up with.
That's the shots, but how many animators?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the...
How many animators like you would work on?
Okay, so actual animators, like rough animators that I did, usually we'd have 35 to 50. Okay. But there's over 400 people that work on an animated movie. You've got layout artists, you got cleanup artists, you got background artists, you got camera people, you've got all that kind of stuff. Effects animators, all that. But as far as just straight up character animators, it would be about 35 to 50.
What do you say?
This is one from Mark Henn. Mark Henn was the head of Jasmine and Simba, and so he did a little sketch for me of an early idea for Nala. He did that for me.
What would you say would have the largest crew on a project? Like you say, there's like average around 350 to 450 per project. Which department would have the most people on a project?
Cleanup.
Cleanup?
Yep. Cleanup is always the biggest department. The most expensive department. Is that screaming I hear?
TV.
Oh, gotcha. Just want to make sure. So lots and lots of little Nala ideas, little sketches. So glad I found these. I thought these were lost. I forgot that I'd put these into the storage.
Is there still a Disney studio in Florida? I'm from Tampa, Florida, so just
No,
curious.
that was closed down in 2004.
Yep.
After 15 years.
If you were there back in the day, the animators were actually an attraction.
We were actually behind glass, and we called it the Fish Bowl. We had over 10,000 people a day come through the studio and come through our little studio and watch us animate these movies, make these films. We were really making them.
Back when it was MGM Studios.
Yep. Here's a pile. I'm not sure what's in here. I think we'll go through a couple more things here and then we'll call it. We could do a video that lasts 8 hours. with all the stuff that I mean, I've got 6 more boxes over here of maquettes.
We don't have to share it.
Wow, look at that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks like we got bugs.
Bugs?
Yep. Can you see the holes?
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
There's the holes.
They've been hit, maybe. Well, that one looks good.
Yeah, that one's okay.
That's good.
Oh, you guys have always asked me what an exposure sheet is. Here's an exposure sheet. Frog's view of baby reaching for him. Oh, this is from a shot for a production that was never made, and that which we've got. I'm going to show you some animation that I did for that. Here's some more. Oh my gosh, you hear all that? That's the edges of the paper that have gotten eaten by the bugs and kind of chewed together. Yeah. Wow, that's no bueno. Look at this. Here's a workbook for oh, I just can't wait to be king. Right there. Talking about at the very end when they do the tower and they show the camera move going up. You know, that's the workbook. This is what we would do before a shot gets, any of the shots or a sequence gets animated, is you workbook the whole thing. You plan out the camera moves, you plan out where the characters are going to be, all of that, so that when it comes time to animate, there's no questions.
Was there ever a deadline for full designs of characters?
Oh yeah, there's always deadlines.
And how often was that reviewed? Like every day or every other day?
Yeah, every other day, every other day.
What
every
kind
day.
of bugs do you think were eating the paper?
Probably termites. I'll always love that image. These are little Xeroxes I used to keep up on my desk.
I wonder who took that photo. What is that?
Someone just wrote, "Where are you?" I think they wanted me to come to lunch.
What was that sheet?
Here's this is from I don't know. This is a note from the head of training. We had Jim Fowler coming in. I don't know if you guys know who Jim Fowler is. Some of you my age will know. He was from Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. We used to watch him every Sunday after Disney, and he'd always be out there catching crocodiles with Marlon Perkins. Well, we got Jim Fowler to come and give lectures to us in the beginning of Mulan. And there's a note saying, important reminder, during the Jim Fowler sessions today and tomorrow, you should bring your own art supplies, paper, pencils, lap boards, etc. Thank you. I don't know why I have that. More Nala attitude drawings. Lots of stuff here. I got repeats of a lot of things. Oh, this is interesting. This is cool.
Am I allowed to redraw your drawings and post them if I give you credit?
Sure, you can read. Yes, you can. Absolutely.
My 9-year-old daughter is watching this and she's got very excited. It says she would like to grow up to be an animator just like you.
Oh, that's great.
Could you please say hi to her? Her name is Saya.
Hey, Saya. Well, I hope you do grow up to be an animator, because if you do, you're going to have a really great time. I love being an animator. Being an animator is so much fun, and I'm very, very lucky to have been able to spend my career doing something so much fun. These are all little thumbnail scribbles from Mark Henn. He and I sat down one day and just drew together, and we just kept throwing drawings back and forth at each other. Look at these are early Simba ideas when he's an adult.
You did some shots of adult Simba.
I did. I animated some after I finished animating Nala. I went over and animated some of Simba.
You did some fight between him and Scar, right?
Yep. And these are all drawings by Ruben Aquino. Now Ruben Aquino, he went over and started on the movie about a year ahead of us, any other animators, and he put together all kinds of locomotion packets. He did all the studies and then did lots of animation and had all kinds of reference ready for us when we came onto the movie. This is all gold. I forgot I had these.
When the rich dude bought a Jaguar, people called him a snob, but it was destined to be parked in a certain spot where an animator passed by and inspired the movie of Aladdin.
That's right. I mean, I've just got... They're just so random, a lot of these things.
You know what happened when directors weren't happy with the design? They just give the task to another animator.
No, we would give notes. I mean, it would take time to get something designed, but we would give each other notes, and the directors would give us notes, and we just do it until it's right. Nala looked like this for a long time. You want to come over, Rivers? Nope. Yeah, this is a lot of Nala stuff here. I've got so many of these drawings. Oh,
are you for hire, Aaron?
Not anymore. No, I used to be, but no, we're making our own production now, so I am off the market for a while.
We make our own stuff.
Yeah. So I've got actually a piece of animation in here.
But I wonder if that also means like if you're hiring here too.
No. No. Not right now. Lots and lots. This gets really repetitive actually now. These are, yeah, because one of the habits I would do is I would do drawing over drawing over drawing over drawing over drawing and just see where it morphs to. Here's 3 Xeroxes of the same drawing. I don't know why I have that.
Now that you mention it, how's Snow Bear going?
Snow Bear is going swimmingly.
How long are you running the sale in Future Art Teacher?
We don't know. We're going to keep running it until we're not running it. So right now we don't have any plans, immediate plans of dropping the sale because we want to make sure it's going to be at least as long as people are shut in for COVID and having to deal with COVID.
Do we have slides for the sale?
Well, we didn't do one last week.
I meant the week before.
Oh yeah. But if there is a slide, we can put it up there. Here we go. So this one, oh, these are all ones I pulled out. So remember this shot? Yeah, Tim Hodge has the original. These are all my throwaways. These are my throwaway drawings for. This is one of the first pieces of test animation that I did of Nala. The actual shot I gave to a friend, but these are all some of the throwaways out of that. So you can see these. You're seeing the bare guts of our stuff.
Did you work on a Bugs Life at all?
I did not.
Pixar production.
It was Pixar. Yes.
Yeesh.
Here's just different poses of her. These are some of the keys.
Did you work on Lion King 1.5 or Lion King 2?
No, I did not. The only thing I worked on Lion King wise outside the movie was the video game, the Sega video game.
Sega
and Super Nintendo. So here I was trying to experiment and just push dynamic posing and figure out the anatomy. Lots of little poses, trying to figure out anatomy of the skull. How would I open her mouth?
Will life drawing be the natural step after completing your anatomy course?
I think so, yes. Figurative drawing, which is something that we're going to be adding to our course list. So these are all poses. This is all from the same shot of Nala. Are these, is this the actual, I keep thinking these are throwaways, but yeah, they're all numbered. So I'm not sure, but they're all out of order. Maybe I should go through and see if I can get them in order. Yeah. No, wait. Oh, wait. No, hold on. Do you have a 23?
Where's 25? I'm looking for 25.
Yeah, just man. Here's the original for the ones that we put in marker. Okay, this is just getting old now. What do we got
You
here?
want to do it on a maquette?
Yeah, let's do a maquette. Let me get this over here. Yeah, here's an example of just going over the same drawing. But some of these I thought came out kind of neat. I like some of these earlier ones. And change expressions. This is a little head turnaround that Mark Henn did. He was the supervising animator of Simba. There's a little head turnaround that he did of Simba for me. So I knew Simba's proportions and I could use those as reference for Nala.
Are there any studios still doing traditional animated movies, or is it all 3D rendered?
Nope, there's Cartoon Saloon is still doing it. It's not animated on paper, but it's still animated by hand. Look at this cleanup. There's a cleanup idea. There's the drawing, and then there's a cleanup sketch. I think that was done by Tracy Lee.
Do you know if there's a director's commentary in the Brother Bear DVD? I have a VHS, so I wouldn't know.
Just the moose.
It's just a couple of mooses, eh? They're talking about the movie.
But we might have something in the works for that.
So this is how we would communicate. So here's something where I would Xerox it and send it or fax it. And this is to Rob Minkoff and Roger Allers. Those are the directors of The Lion King. It says from Aaron Blaise, and I wrote a note to him. I did these over the drawings I sent out yesterday. I think they're a little bit more successful. So just little things like that we would do in order to get the design right.
Did you work on the Aladdin video game as well?
Yes. Yes, I did. So there we go. There's another big pile down.
Aaron, is this going to be your new studio?
Not this particular room, but we are in the house that will be have the new studio. That will house the new studio. All right, one more maquette, and then we'll call it. Because I've got the frog stuff we can go over another time.
We should tease the frog thing, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to show it, but I'm just.
This is a stack of animation. Back at Disney, after we did Roller Coaster Rabbit, we had another Roger Rabbit cartoon in development called Hair in My Soup, and it was Roger working at a French restaurant, and there was these frog characters because it's a French restaurant, and so they were serving up frog legs, which is horrible, and there was a frog that is being kept on a ball and chain in the restaurant. These are all the thumbnails for it, but and so it's a whole bit of, I mean, this huge stack of animation that I did of him trying to escape, and so I'll show that next time. Right now, let's get into another maquette.
Lost animation right there.
Yeah.
Do you take suggestions for future courses? I'd personally be interested in seeing one for various reptiles such as lizards, turtles.
Yes,
gators.
we have gotten that request and we agree, and we will be doing it.
In a recent poll we did, reptiles came in #1.
I was surprised about that too. Okay, this stuff I'm going to leave up here. Let's see what we got. We have one that says "Man with Sword."
Man with sword.
That means whoever was packing it had no idea what it was, right? They were just like, man with sword.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Hopefully we're not boring people too much.
Dustin, are you excited to scan all of these drawings?
All right, here we go. Bare necessities. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got in here. Paper.
Wow. It's just a box of packing paper.
Yeah. Oh, this one, at least this time I got to the box.
Someone said trumpet fanfare.
What if you did a course on small mammals? I know it's broad, so you could refine it, but I think it would be fun. What do you think of that? Small mammals?
Yeah. I like that idea. I also like getting
in there.
Yeah.
Field mice. Just a whole course on various types of mice.
Yeah.
Mice and
No,
bats.
it's a whole course on field mice and platypus.
Yeah.
All right, more paper.
Animals of Australia. That could be cool.
I do like that idea.
Ooh. Yeah, we can start doing we could do regional kinds of anatomies, like Australia.
Well, we've been planning on doing big game in North America for a while as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It'd be nice to do photography of that.
All right, let's take this one out. All right. All right, let's see what we got. Show me what you got.
Show me what you get.
All right, let's see here.
I'm the dad at Christmas that always has to clean up the wrapping paper as I go along.
Is it allowed?
Hey, Rivers.
That you could have all this at your home?
What's that?
Are all these allowed from Disney at your
Yes, this is all stuff that was given to me after the production.
You have a fireplace in the new house? I see you throwing fire starters over your shoulders.
All right, what do we got here? I know what we got. I just can't get into it right here. Oh, there we go.
Tell everybody I'm opening it.
Squirrel.
Is it a squirrel or a chicken?
The ground squirrel.
Oh, ground squirrel?
Yeah. He's a character that actually never made it in the movie, but we storyboarded him in the early days.
Oh, is he the one that was like, you didn't eat me?
Yeah, exactly. He got insulted because Kenai wouldn't eat him. I'm worth 2,000 calories. He comes from a long line of squirrels that have been eaten by bears. Doesn't understand why he's not good enough. All right, here we go. And it is Coda. There's Coda talking to little ground squirrel. Move it over. Which way am I moving? This way or this way? There we go.
Did you by any chance do any of the drawings or animations for The Lost Empire of Atlantis?
No. No, I did not work on the Lost Empire of Atlantis. So there's Coda. Sculpted by Tony Cipriano. Man, so nice to see these again. It's like I'm looking at old friends again.
No kidding, dear, but
I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it.
I love it.
All right, we got one more.
Uno Rush? Firestarter.
Oh, there's an extra piece in there.
Huh?
Oh, what's this?
What is
I got extra pieces in here. They're like, I don't know what they are. Oh, that's a surprise.
Ah.
There's another one. I think I know what this one is, and if it is what it's labeled as Boy in Tree. The people that helped me pack this stuff, they really didn't know anything about Disney.
A1moving.com is getting a nice sponsoring deal there. Like,
A1moving.com.
I think I know what this one is. I think I know what this one is. Oh no, I don't know what this one is.
You don't know?
Oh yeah, I do. I know what this one is. Now this one is not from a film that I worked on. This was given to us as gifts when the film was finished. Now I don't mean gift like a moving picture, but as gifts.
Some people would say, "Don't you mean GIF?"
Yes, but I think officially they said it's GIF now. I was reading it because the argument about how it goes back and forth. Now
but the guy who invented it calls it a GIF.
I know, but they were saying, but other people were saying because it's it comes from the word graphic, which is a hard G.
Yeah. I call it a GIF.
So there's your boy in a tree. Tarzan, boy in a tree. First of all, he doesn't look anything like a boy. But this was really cool. They Disney was really nice enough to have this mass printed for the people at the studio, and they gave these out as gifts. And I love this pose. Glenn Keane character once again. Glenn Keane, the genius.
I wonder how long it would take to recreate these as 3D prints.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to because I've already got them.
Right.
Let's see what these are. I have no idea what's in here.
They should have named the movie Boy in a Tree.
This is a picture of myself, Chuck Williams, who is our producer, Bob Walker, who is my co-director, and Dick Cook, who is the head of Walt Disney Pictures, at the wrap party for Brother Bear. Whoops. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. Like I said, I don't know what's in here. Here's another one. What's in here? Oh, check this out. Okay, so here's me and Chuck and Dick Cook and Phil Collins back in the day. That was at the wrap party. This is our crew book we put together. This is the book we put together when after the movie was made, and it's all photographs. It's like a yearbook. So it has a table of contents. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it has
Bob's face.
Yeah, I know, Bob. Let me move it this way. There's Bob and Chuck. Bob always took a great picture. And obviously we had lots of hair, so they called us Brother Hair. But poor Bob, he was like a brother to me. Bob passed away about 4 years ago. I really miss that guy. And here's Chuck.
Have you ever been to any of the Disney parks, like Disney World or Disneyland? Or Animal Kingdom?
Our studio was right in the Disney parks. So, and what's really nice is that, you know, it's really nice to go through this because it has everybody on the sides that worked on the film, but then it's lots of photographs from all the parties and all the get-togethers and everything. There I am in a little bear outfit. All our little parties that we did, and just, this is over like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, this picture right here, this is Bob and I sitting at Phil Collins' drum set.
Maybe zoom in on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's Phil's drum set. Yeah, dum 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 dum. So it was a good time had by all. We loved making this movie. It was just an amazing time. There's Phil singing, recording one of the songs. So there we are. That's a big crew. There's a big crew. Lots and lots of people. A lot of the people in here aren't with us anymore. But I loved them all.
How big of a crew was it? It was like 400?
We had about 360 people. So there you go. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing. I miss these people. Now, this is even cooler. Well, I don't know about cooler, but this is super cool as well. This is all the music.
How smooth or rocky was the production of Brother Bear?
Oh, no worse than any other production. Do you want to pull out on this, Dustin? But this is all the music from Brother Bear. Mark Mancina was our composer. So this is our this is the score, everything that Mark Mancina wrote, plus the plus all the music that Phil wrote. It's all right here, and I got the meets to sign it. So Mark wrote it over here. Thanks for helping shape this score from Mark Mancina to me. And then for Aaron, what a great time from Phil Collins. So there it is. There we had and it's every bit of music in the movie. So that's kind of a neat thing to have.
That's pretty sweet.
And our last thing, this could be a complete dud. I don't know what this is. This has nothing to do with anything.
What is it?
It says, presented in recognition of your participation in the 2013 Photoshop World Instructor Dream Team. There you go. Somehow or another, I got wrapped up with my Disney memorabilia.
The English screen.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
There it is. This is the best.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me.
So, I mean, we've got so much more stuff here, and we'll do more. But which camera am I looking at? I'm looking. Oh, right there. So, thanks for hanging out. I've got so much more stuff like this. We'll probably do some more of these later in the future. But hopefully by next week, we're going to be in that room all set up, and we'll be doing some art back to our regularly scheduled streaming and drawing and painting and character designing and all that kind of fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I love going through old stuff like that. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to put it all. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Have a great weekend. Go out, put some beauty back into the world, and I will talk to you next week. And I've got Nick and Dustin that can say goodbye this time.
See if the webcam actually works. No. Dang it. I guess not.
So come over here.
Bye.